Bottom display is a lot of Darth Maul stuff. And Darth Maul was one of my favorite characters from The Phantom Menace when he came out back in '99, and one of the most collected figures back at that time as well. Here you see he's in the Power of the Jedi green card, one version of him. This version of him has him in battle suit, or I should say a training suit with his double-bladed lightsaber. And this one's it says there, break apart battle damage Darth Maul. Where yeah, if you take it out of the package, it actually breaks apart from when Qui-Gon slashed him. And below that, there's a Darth Maul, Darth Vader 2-pack, 12-inch scale. And there it is with the Toys R Us sticker, $39.99 back in the day. How about that? And in front of that one's just a kind of a random Darth Maul figure from Episode 1. But kind of neat with the binoculars there. And below that, it's a Hallmark keepsake ornament of Darth Maul. Over here is a trash compactor scene, Walmart exclusive, very hard to find. 2 different versions, actually, of this one exists. But just ask any collector out there, this one was very tough to find back in the day. And then above that, a deluxe Jabba the Hutt. Taking us now to this display, a lot of different non-sports figures in this one, but it's mostly Marvel Legends, Star Wars, and Halo figures. And then at the bottom, there's some Muppets figures, Master Universe, and a couple of seemingly random Spider-Man figures as well. Bottom 3 shelves of display are mostly Star Wars and Muppets figures, as well as some other, I would just say, miscellaneous type action figures at the bottom. And then at the foot of that display, on this shelf, is a display of vintage Star Wars loose figures, as well as some loose mini baseball helmets from the late 80s. So let's start at the top of this row of Star Wars figures, beginning with this Darth Maul Unmasked. These are from the early 2000s. And the rest of the row is just going to be Stormtroopers and Clone Troopers. There's 3 right there, including a Fan's Choice Stormtrooper here. And there's some from the animated wave, more clones, and then some more on the end. Once again, I am a niche collector of Star Wars figures. I only collect clones and Stormtroopers, and then mostly just convention and store exclusives, hobby exclusives, a few other select characters, Kylo Ren, Darth Maul, Boba Fett, the occasional cool-looking unmasked Vader there, or again, a convention or exclusive version of Han, Leia, or somebody else from the wave I might pick up from my collection. But mostly, again, just certain kinds of characters and exclusives from my Star Wars collection. Middle row is Muppets figures that you're seeing here. And these Muppets figures were done by a company called Palisades in the early 2000s. And they mostly came through a store called Suncoast Video. At least that's where I found most all of mine. As well as Musicland, Sam Goody, and later on FYE. And you can see what it is there. It's a 4.5 inch figure with accessories. And like McFarlane Sports Picks, the regular outfit's pictured on the package. And like in Dr. Teeth's case here, he's wearing the Chase outfit. The different outfit is the Chase than what he's pictured in. Same thing here then with Floyd Pepper, regular in the red top, and Chase in the blue rocker top there. And here's the cool saxophonist Zoot. Again, red, oranges garb there, as opposed to what he's pictured in there, which is the regular. And Palisades did about 4, 5, or 6 series of these. Here's some of the latter waves with Rizzo the Rat, and all those cool accessories in the package there. Regular in the red jacket, Chase in the blue. There's Janice, pink shirt's regular, and silver is the Chase. And then on the end, there's Clifford, again, a different vest and shirt on. Bottom row is a row of miscellaneous figures that I just couldn't fit them in anywhere better in my collection, so I just put them in this bottom row on the display. And they start at the end here with these 2 Master Universe figures. There's seeing Hordak, and over here's Stinkor. And they were made by NECA back in the early 2000s. I found them at Suncoast Video. NECA did a couple lines of Master Universe figures and only a couple lines, and then another toy company picked up the Master's license, and NECA wasn't doing them anymore. But I thought they were a pretty quality figure. Again, when NECA was doing them, I liked them and put them in my collection. There's a Mary Jane figure from Hasbro, and she even comes with a balcony there, as you can see in the picture. And why is this Mary Jane in my collection? I believe at this time in 2005 from the Tobey Maguire era films, and that's Kirsten Dunst, of course, who played her in the film. The word from Jason, aka the Professor, was The dress, which you see is metallic red, was pulled from production and replaced with a pink dress. So that is a rare metallic red dress variation of the Mary Jane. That's why I got it from my collection. Over here is a 2-pack of Batman, Tech Suit Batman, and Two-Face. Mostly I just got this one because I like the Two-Face. Toy companies didn't do a whole lot of Two-Face figures. When they did, when I'd buy it for my collection. Here is a Judge Death. It's Marvel Legends Walmart exclusive from the Monkey Man wave. In the corner is a Tony Stewart figure from starting lineup. Not very many stock car drivers in my collection, but that's one of them, the Rooftop Celebration Edition. And here's an Andre the Giant. It's a Jakks Pacific bagged figure promotional exclusive giveaway through GameStop. So once again, thank you GameStop for more contributions to my action figure collection. This display sits at the base. In the center of the display is an early bird figure, Star Wars Mail Away exclusive, 30th anniversary of 2007. It's these 4 figures you see in the picture: Leia, R2, Luke, and Chewbacca. And you can mail away for them. Those 4 figures are packaged up inside the seal white box in a molded clamshell loose. And this might even be a Lee's Tour Review exclusive version. I don't remember exactly if they offered one, but that one was given to me by Lenny Lee in a Lee's swag bag. And then around that early bird box is vintage Star Wars figures you're seeing there. And these are the figures of my childhood. The ones I collected, opened up, played with back in the late 70s and early 80s. The ones my mom bought me back in the day. And they're not in the best of shape. They're pretty beat up. The paint's chipped. I don't have the weapons. But it's not so much about value as it is about, just cherished memories of my childhood. This is what I grew up on. This is what got me into collecting. And my mom actually saved them. And I have a second display of these loose figures. This is the first one I have here you're seeing. And she actually saved them, unlike a lot of mothers who threw away their child's toys once they got to a certain age. She saved mine in a plastic bag that sat in the attic, I think. And later on, when I became an adult, she let me know she still had my Star Wars figures and gave them to me. And so I just put them on this display here. And those Star Wars figures are a memory of my childhood. Down here are these mini baseball helmets. These are a memory of my teenage years. I acquired these from gumball machines around the area. They were probably 25 or 50 cents a pull back in the day. This is the late 80s. And my goal was to get an entire set of these little mini batting helmets from Major League Baseball. And I actually accomplished that. I got all the Major League teams. And then I just organized them alphabetically according to city. There's Atlanta, Chicago, Cincinnati, Houston, Los Angeles, Montreal. And they just follow suit, again, alphabetically, all the cities. And bear in mind, this was the late 80s, so therefore there was no Colorado Rockies or Florida Marlins just yet. Sitting way up here in the corner is a figure called Acrogear. And he is from a popular line of toys called Micronauts that were very popular back in the late 70s, for those who remember. This is a commemorative reissue figure by the Palisades Company, same people that gave us the Muppets figures we saw. And it was being issued through Suncoast, Sam Goody, Crow's Nest, Musicland back in the early 2000s. And they had many different finishes. There's the gold chrome finish that I found. But the Acro figure had many different versions with different finishes. He's the bad guy or villain from the wave. The hero from Micronauts, for those who remember, is Microman. Sitting on this wall here are more miscellaneous action figures in my collection. Figures that I hunted down at the retail stores back in the day from various manufacturers. And then a few figures here that were given to me from my collection. We'll start here in the corner with these two from the Austin Powers movie franchise. These are made by McFarlane Toys. And here you see Mini-Me with accessories. And over here is Vanessa Kensington. And just like the wrestlers, the female figures were the hard ones to find from the wave. So Kensington and Felicity Shagwell were the two hardest to find. Next to those are a couple of military figures from a company called Plan B Toys. There's a Navy Ops diver that you see there. And over here, a police SWAT officer. I just saw these in the peg back in the day at GameStop, and I liked them. I liked the way they were crafted and the accessories. And the price point of $8 or $9, it just seemed like a good buy. There's Dale Gribble from King of the Hill, one of my favorite TV shows. Yes, there were King of the Hill figures available back in the day, but they were very rare and hard to find, only a couple waves. They were made by a company called Toy-Com, and they were coming through the same stores as the Micronauts and the Muppets, which is Suncoast, Sam Goody, Crow's Nest, Musicland. There you can see it says Dale Gribble, next door neighbor, exterminator, conspiracy theorist, Don't let him scan the barcode. Yeah, Dale was one of my favorite figures from that TV show. And they did the main ones, Hank and Peggy Hill, Bill Dauterive. The hardest one to find was Boomhauer. I always wanted him for my collection, can never find him. And above Dale's an E.T. figure. This was a Kraft macaroni and cheese promotional figure. My Uncle John gave this to me. He found that at a garage sale or maybe a flea market, and he knows I collect figures, so he gave it to me. So thanks, Uncle John. And then some historical figures here. Here's Mozart and Sigmund Freud. Again, given to me. The Mozart was given to me by my cousin John, and the Sigmund Freud was given to me by my former boss Eric. So thank you guys for those wonderful contributions to my action figure collection. Moving down the shelf, more miscellaneous figures here. These two female figures you're seeing here are from the Conan, the Barbarian Warrior wave, made by McFarlane. Yes, McFarlane made a lot of different action figures back in the day, not just sports figures. And again, the females were the hard to find from the wave. Here's seen up top Zenobia. Pretty exquisite detail on her. And below her is Bellet. I think I found these at GameStop on a clearance rack for $2 or $3 each. So I thought they were a pretty good buy. And Bellet's kind of interesting. See how her butt cheek is exposed there? There was a later issued figure in this wave where she's wearing a different thong and it covers the butt cheek. And so yes, this is the exposed butt cheek Bellet variant figure. Swear to God, guys, I can't stress how much, I wouldn't lie to you. This is true stuff I'm giving you. I'm not lying. Here's more random figures here, loose. Flash, Batgirl, and Hawkgirl. I think the Flash and the Hawkgirl came from a McDonald's Happy Meal or possibly a similar type meal at Burger King. Quite honestly, I don't even remember how these found their way into my collection. And above those is Captain America Red Skull Marvel Legends 2-pack. They're loose, and these are from the original early waves of Marvel Legends. These up here. And the reason why I displayed them loose, and I'll just give you the backstory here, is I found these figures on Toys R Us online store. It was around the early 2000s at that time that online stores were becoming very big, especially for collectors. So if you could not find the figures you're looking for in your local Toys R Us, Walmart, Target, you might want to try their online store. And that's where I found these. And these two figures actually are variants or chases. There was a regular issue 2-pack, and there was a variant or chase Captain America Red Skull 2-pack. So I found that on the Toys R Us store online. I was very happy. I placed my order. About a week later, the package arrives on my doorstep. And I open it up, and the clamshell that these two figures came in, similar to this clamshell up here, just bigger and accommodating two figures. The clamshell on these was completely crushed. Just beat up, crushed. Reason being is Toys R Us did not pack the shipping box at all. They just threw the 2-pack into a small box and shipped it out. No styrofoam, no bubble wrap, no styrofoam popcorn to protect the box or the package. And so consequently it arrives and the contents are beat up. And you start realizing around this time that the big box retailers, at least at that time, they just treated their items like toys. Everything was toys to them. And so they didn't think to actually pack things well for collectors. And you see how online stores have evolved. Your modern day giants, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, they know when that people order stuff from them, it's a collectible item, and they pack it accordingly. They pack it well. But back in the early days, that wasn't happening. And so again, the package arrived crushed. I didn't want to display a bad package. So I just opened them up and just decided to display these two figures loose. Moving clockwise along the wall are more G.I. Joe figures. And here's a display of Hasbro 3 3/4 inch G.I. Joe figures that were released between 2006 and 2008. And the packaging and design is meant to pay homage or commemorate the vintage line of G.I. Joe figures from the 80s. And these figures were released again by Hasbro. They were released in waves of about 8 or 9 figures per wave over a 2-year span. And they hit most of the big mass market retail stores that carry collectibles and toys, namely Target, Toys R Us, Walmart, some maybe at KB Toys. And the ones that didn't sell eventually went to discount stores like AJ Wright, because I remember finding them there as well. And the early waves here, like here we're going to see down here, Snake Eyes. He was from one of the early waves. The packaging, as you can see around him, was on foil. There was foil accents around the packaging. And then more from that same wave there. Cobra Commander, Snow Job, the Elite Trooper there. And so all these figures you're seeing here have the foil packaging. like on the Zartan there, the Cobra Red Ninja. And once again, as far as which ones I obtained from my collection, I just would buy the ones I like. If I like that character, that figure, I buy them. I didn't necessarily buy all of them though. It's not a complete set. So there's Major Blood, Cobra Commander again in the armor, Storm Shadow, and you'll see a lot of like Viper and Elite guy, like Vipers, Cobra Vipers there, Cobra Bats, or Elite Troopers there. There's a Tracker, another Snake Eyes there, different version. And now when you come to these latter waves, the packaging goes to plain cardboard. No more foil. I guess Hasbro kind of got cheap on us a little bit, and didn't put foil accents. You can see now in these later waves with Crocmaster, didn't put foil accents around the cardboard. It's just plain white cardboard there that you're seeing. So that's one difference to note in the later waves of these figures that you're seeing here. And once again, just a lot of different Cobra Commanders and Cobra Troopers in my collection. Major characters, yeah. Minor characters, some. You know, I have all kinds. The Frogman. And then up top here, these were like the last waves that came out. The final waves that Hasbro was doing probably around the year 2008 or so. Moving down to display, we see more G.I. Joe exclusive. Here is a G.I. Joe Cobra Arctic Assault Squad 7-pack box set exclusive. 7 figures there exclusive to this box set. You see some familiar faces like Snow Serpent, the Cobra Viper. And it was a shared online exclusive. Came out about 2008 or 2009. And I believe it was shared between Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth, if I'm not mistaken. And there was also a Desert Assault Squad, Cobra Desert Assault Squad that they made. It was a shared exclusive. Never picked up from my collection. Always wish I had. But I wound up with the Arctic one. And moving below, here's a He-Man and Battle Cat box set. It's from the 2005-ish Mattel commemorative wave of Master Universe, where it's a package within a bigger commemorative package. It's from this wave we had seen previously with Trapjaw. Again, package within a package there, and Skeletor below him. So, it's of that vein. And then He-Man and Battle Cat. And then above He-Man and Battle Cat are some relics from my childhood. These 3 figures here are from when I was a kid. They survived, I guess Mom packed them away with the Star Wars stuff. And yes, my mom bought them for me back about the mid-80s, 84, 85 roughly, and I opened up and played with them. There you see Wolverine, and he's flanked by the Joker and Batman. And I believe the Wolverine was from a wave of Secret Wars, and the Joker and the Batman here were from a wave of DC heroes or superheroes that, again, launched in the mid-80s. And, again, they're from my collection, memories of my childhood, from a very joyous time for a lot of people who fondly remember growing up with these and collecting these. And then down here are some more Spider-Man figures. This is a wave of Spider-Man figures by Toy Biz, the same makers of Marvel Legends, and made in the same vein. Same kind of packaging. But these Spider-Man figures here predated the Marvel Legends by about a year or so. So these came out about 2001 or so, because Marvel Legends came out about 2002. And it would just involve Spider-Man and some characters from Spider-Man storylines. There you see the red and blue classic. And here the black. And from that same wave, or maybe they made 2 waves of it, I don't remember specifically. I think it was 2 waves. Are more Spider-Man. Again, from the classics. There he is, Amazing Fantasy, iconic cover. And next to him is his frenemy, Daredevil. And then one of his main villains on the end there, Rhino. At the base of the display, we see 2 figures here in Protectos, flanked by some more 3 3/4-inch GameStop exclusive swag. Here we have a Stealth Wraith and a Dark Trooper from Star Wars, the Wraith from G.I. Joe. And they're in these Protectos because they're hard to find figures. And this Wraith is a Stealth Wraith Chase version from the Hasbro 3 3/4-inch G.I. Joe figures. And there he is in stealth form. Here's what he looks like, the regular. That's the regular Wraith from that wave. And down here is the Chase one. Thank you, Professor Jason, for finding this one for me. Yeah, my buddy Jason, the professor, aka the professor, found this one for me at a TJ Maxx of all places because he knew I was hot after this one. And so again, thank you, Jay, for finding it. And over here is a Dark Trooper from Star Wars Expanded Universe. Again, a harder to find figure from back in the day, probably 1995 or 96 when these were hitting. But I got it years later from my collection. And then here, on the end here is just some GameStop 3 3/4 inch exclusives. There's Bionic Commando. And over here is Alex Mercer prototype. These were, giveaways or promo type items for customers who pre-order the game, or a collector like myself who GameStop was nice enough to let me take them from my collection. So thank you, GameStop. Down here is some Soul Calibur 2 figures from McFarlane, 3 3/4 scale. There's Ivy with the whip. And down here is Spawn. And these were hard to find waves. They didn't hit very many stores, these waves of Soul Calibur 2 figures by McFarlane. The Spawn figure, I believe, was a GameStop exclusive. And so specialty retailers got them in. And they're kind of tough to find. And above that is a Star Wars Evolutions 3-pack. It's a Sith Legacy. And that's Darth Bane there. You see in the package. Darth Nihilus, who was exclusive to this 3-pack. And a shirtless Darth Maul. So again, I collect Maul and the Sith, so I got this one from my collection. And then up here, some Star Wars Titanium diecast. Here's a Target exclusive Vader. Supposed to be like the molten lava Vader you see there. Apologize for the glare, by the way. And then over here is a Boba Fett. Unpainted was a chase one with the vintage finish there. Painted one was a regular, the painted version. The unpainted raw metal was a chase, as you can see there. And then above that's just some die cast here. This was a chase Slave 1. You see the star of the Ultimate Galactic Hunt sticker indicating chase with the raw finish there. And this is a white TIE Fighter. Harder to find version than the gray standard issue version. So just some harder to find die cast Star Wars there. And figures down here.